There were two that were very present in my mind always, uh, and they were related. Our absence from the larger world. I would read magazines assiduously, newspapers, read them assiduously, and when television comes along, see television as well. And we were absent from that world. And the second that I experienced very early on, and which I observed around me, was discrimination in the form of exclusion or marginalization of Latinos from the institutions of the society, and how we were kept separate from the larger populations in all kinds of ways. I remember when I was writing In the Country of Empty Crosses, one of the people came to hear one of my stories, said, one of the most segregated things in New Mexico is the cemeteries. And it was so. There were Catholic cemeteries for Catholics who were Hispanos and for Catholics that were not. There were Protestant cemeteries for Hispanos and for Protestants that were not, for example. The continuing challenges for Mexican American community is inclusion in the institutions of society in any full sense of the word. For many years, I talked about the fact that we needed to have participation in the institutions society that superseded our participation in the institutions of imprisonment. So many of our young people, for example, and some older people are in prison, in jails, etc. I said, that's an institution, and we need to be represented. We need to be more represented in other institutions, educational institutions, civic institutions, economic institutions, financial, social, and cultural institutions. So we are not present in that world. Our level of education is not very high, in part because there's a history of exclusion from education, but also because our population is a young population. We are absent with respect to our engagement in the critical institutions of society that determine our future. We don't have very many people who are in positions of leadership to be able to set policies that address our concerns. We are still not able to define policy as in the interest of our community. A good many policymakers still talk about the fact that